Yo, good evening, USA, International, Canada, Long Island, aka Strong Island, plus the tri state areas of New Jersey, Connecticut, the five spots of Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, and Queens. This is your man and homie, G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator, who rhymes with now or later, just like the candy. Your host with the most, misunderstood lonely nomad, unstoppable independent podcaster, creator, YouTuber, Queens, New York native who is also a fan of the New York teams such as the Giants, the Knicks, aka Knicks at 5, and of course the New York Mets from the neck of the woods of Laurelton, Queens, New York. You are now rocking with me by listening and watching the 165th episode of the entertainment review show Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast, live and direct from StreamYard alongside with the comfort of my room where I do my podcast recordings. And of course, this is where I actually talk about some things in music news, a little bit of music discographies, a little bit of old and new TV shows, movies, and some gaming news as well, as far as the reviews and stuff to talk about. And of course, YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, if you like the topics in each of the episodes, especially this one, make sure you go ahead and click on that subscribe button on the Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast YouTube channel page. And alongside with leaving a like and a comment, share your thoughts in the comment section about the topics. And of course, let me know which topics and episodes are basically your favorite so far. All right. And also you can hype up the video. You can also click on the notification alert so you'll know when you'll be notified on when I'll be on the air live with new live streams and new topics for each episode. All right. Now, now, happy Friday to everybody. And I know some of you out there were watching the Mets game, but in case you didn't know, there was a power outage of the Mets trucks, and the Mets trucks to actually provide power as far as like the broadcast and to provide the viewers at home who watches the game and stuff like that. There was like a power outage earlier and stuff, so everything's back right now. Right now it's scoreless. I will keep track of the score as I'm doing the recording of this podcast, so don't worry, I got y'all. So yeah. All right, so let's cut to the chase and go on to, hold on a second. Let me just do this. Yeah, let's cut to the chase. Go on to some music Kool-Aid. Yeah, we'll do some music Kool-Aid stuff right now. All right. Okay. Everything's all good. Not on mute at the moment, so we're not on mute, so we're good. We are good. Now, all right, let me take a look. All right, some music Kool-Aid stuff to talk about here. Let's get into, oh boy. Gran Turismo. Okay, let's go with this. All right, let's go with this though. All right. All right, let's go with some music stuff right here. Let's go to some what's going on in the news and stuff. So, oh boy, are you kidding me? Okay. Let's see. Let's get into some music stuff. Sorry about that. Oops. All right. Let's go on to. Okay, let's go to Drake. All right. Okay, let's go to Drake. According to Hot New Hip Hop, after dropping 3 albums on the same day, it seems Drake might have another project in the works. If not, then he's surely preparing more visuals to extend the lifespan of the Him trilogy, as some call it. This week, the Canadian rapper was spotted at the Canadian National Exhibition in Toronto dressed up as one of Marvel's most recognizable heroes, Iron Man. And it looks like he was shooting a new music video. Naturally, um, this raised questions about what he's shooting exactly. Some people some suspect it could be for something from the Iceman trilogy, which hasn't received many other visual treatments outside of those that debuted in his final live stream episode. However, this also fuels theories that Drake has a fourth project that he's readying to release before the year ends, considering that he already released three. Damn. um, one of which remained at the top of the Billboard 200 for a few weeks. It seems like it could be a little bit of an overkill for most, but his fans evidently will eat up anything that he serves. So it should be interesting to see what direction this supposed project might head in. Hmm. Um, is Drake dropping a new album before 2026 ends? Well, over the past few weeks, Drake has been teasing something titled FOMO. Yeah, FOMO. Um, what began as an Instagram post ultimately fueled theories online, and Drake recently liked a post um, that suggested that it was a new project, which comes across as a confirmation of sorts. In addition, he also had recent appearances on projects from Karol G and The Game that have gained plenty of traction. Despite his minimal contributions to the game's No Breaks, it sparked plenty of dialogue online. So there you go, right there. There you go, right there. And let's see. Let me see if anybody dropped any albums today. Let's see. Let's take a look here. Album release. Okay, let's go to the month of August. What's today? Today is the 21st, right? Yeah. So the game's recent album is out right now. The documentary 3, followed by Eric Bellinger, is a self-titled album, is already out right now, and of course, the most recent albums that came out is Pooh Shiesty, All Eyes on Shiest, and then the late great Nipsey Hussle and Bino Rideau, Prolific, is out right now. Trippy Red NDA is out right now, and Busta Rhymes and the late great Jay Dilla, Diligence 2 is out right now. Um, t- Today's albums is already out, which is E40, Turning My Money Over, Erica Badu and The Alchemist, Before the World Blows. And Fat Joe has an album that's out right now, called Organized Rhyme. I can't believe he's 59 right now. I thought he was like somewhere in his 40s to the beginning of his 50s. That's interesting though, man. And yeah, not only check out Organized Rhyme by Fat Joe, also check out the Joe and Jada Show podcast on Netflix. And also check out his sneaker store in Manhattan. All right. So Rod Wave is coming out with came out with a project which is Don't Look Down, and YNW Melly Collect Call 2 is out right now too. So yeah, there you go. This is like the list of albums that's out right now. All right. And yeah, this is pretty interesting. And I want to go over the month of wow, wow, wow. The month of September, man. Listen. Yeah, so I think that's about it for the month of August. Now, September 4th, French Montana and Max B, Night to Remember. September 25th, Tank with Experience, and September 25th, Tinashe with Popstar. So there you go, right there. Refresh this. Yeah, I think that's about it though. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. Here. Let's see something. No. Okay. I'm about to go to. All right. Before I go on to the before I go on to the video game segment, actually, I want to go over something. Actually, I want to go over something. I saw something actually. So let me see something here. Let's see. Um. Okay. Let's go to news. Let's take a look here. Let's take a look here. Actually. All right, let's take a look at some of the rappers that's touring in 2026. I want to take a look at this actually, so I can actually get this out the way. Um, come on. Okay, list the rappers that's touring in 2026. Holy shit. All right. All right, so according to Double XL Mag, touring is one of the best ways rappers can directly connect with their dedicated fans. In 2026, hang on a second. Yes, in 2026, several of the game's biggest artists, as well as those on the rise, are heading out on the road. This year, J. Cole released The Fall Off, his seventh album, and reportedly his last. His supporters are eager to hear him perform songs like Toe Six and Bounce Road Blues, featuring Tim's and Future live on the Fall Off World Tour. This major arena runs run cover more than 50 dates in over 15 countries. The trek kicks well, actually, it started already. Actually, it started since July 11th, starting in Charlotte, North Carolina, and it ends on December the 12th in Johannesburg, South Africa. Wow, that's pretty dope. And let's see, fellow rapper Lil Wayne is hitting the concert stage to celebrate his 21st anniversary, excuse me, of his The Carter 2 album and the 18th anniversary of the Carter 3 LP. Little to Little Little Tunchi will embark on his 20 plus years of Carter Classics tour which already started since June 30th in Bangor, Maine, and concludes on October the 23rd in Knoxville, Tennessee. Meanwhile, Doja Cat is returning to the concert stage for the second leg of her Ma V tour in the fall. The Grammy Award winning artist will bring fellow rapper Lotto along for the trek. Doja's North American tour will begin in Detroit on October the 1st and wrap up in New York City on December the 1st. Finally, Baby Keem returns to the rap game with a new album, Casino, and a world tour. The Grammy-winning artist will embark on a 36-date excursion that will include cities in North America, Europe, and the United Kingdom in 2026. The tour the, the tour already began since April 15th in Raleigh, North Carolina, and it finishes on September the 18th in London. Overall, there are over 50 different tours by rappers with more to come. So let's go over who's touring actually. Yes, Baby Keem is one of them. The Kid Leroy. The Kid Leroy is touring. His tour started since April 27th and it ends on November the 17th of this year. Um, and of course, Don't Be Dumb tour already started since May 27th and it ends September 30th. Rick Ross has his own tour, which already started May 29th through August 29th. Um, Lucky Bad Influence tour, June. It started June 12th and it ends on September 27th. Um, Fetty Wap Nostalgia tour. It started since June 6th and it ends on December the 6th. And Usher Raymond and Chris Brown, the R&B tour, already started since June the 26th and it ends December the 11th. All right. Paul Wall Future and Glory tour, it already started since June 27th through December 18th of this year. And Lil Wayne's 20 plus years of Carter Classics tour already started since June 30th and it ends October the 23rd. And other artists performing on this tour is 2 Chainz and Game. Sway Lee from Ray Shrummer, Same Difference tour in Europe. Yeah, it started since July the 10th and it ends on August the 29th. Yeah. And the Fall Off by J. Cole, the Fall Off World Tour already started since July 11th and it ends December the 12th. Baby Chief Dolt Ramble Tour 2026 already started since July 16th, and it ends on October the 22nd. And yeah, and Low Shimmy, Pretty Girls Run the World Tour. It started since July 29th, and it ends September the 26th of this year. La Tyler, Destined for Greatness Tour already started July 31st, and it ends on September the 6th. Slayer Half Blood Tour already started since August 1st, and it ends on September the 15th. Masego Fix Your Face Tour already started since August the 4th, and it ends on October the 18th. Jack Harlow Monica Tour already started since uh, August the 4th of this month, and it ends on September the 21st. Don Tolliver Nitrous Octane World Tour Leg 2 already started since August the 4th, and it ends on November the 5th. Earl Sweatshirt Home on the Range World Tour already started since August the 7th of this month, and it ends on December the 15th. Rock Baby Robertson Johnson Tour already started since August the 7th, and it ends on September the 26th. No Name. Oh shit. Oh my gosh, man. Kind of name. Oh my god. That shit sounds, that's the weirdest name that I ever came across. But anyway, No Name Telephone 10-year anniversary tour already started since August the 2nd, and it ends on September the 10th. And Chance the Rapper Coloring Book 10-year anniversary tour already started since the 8th of this month, and it ends on October the 11th. Yes, October 11th. And Phoenix Flexion Tour already started since the 10th of this month, and it ends on September the 8th. And Isaiah Rashad Lil Sonny's Awful Road Trip Tour already started since August the 13th, and it ends on September the 28th of this month. All right. And Jacquees and K Camp Us Over Them Tour already started since August the 17th, and it ends on September the 4th of September. September the 4th, yes. And Pierre Bourne Made in Paris tour already started since August the 19th, and it ends on September the 25th. Ken Carson Experimenting Tour started August the 26th, and it ends on October the 3rd. And let's see. Nino Paid Somewhere Over the Rainbow Tour is already started since August the 26th, and it ends on September the 20. September the 19th. Gosh. All right, September 19th is, yes. Wu-Tang Clan. Wu-Tang Clan has their own tour, which Wu-Tang Clan presents the Final Chamber. It started since August the 27th, and it ends on October the 4th. Bryson Tiller presents the Neo Trap Soul World Tour. It started since yesterday, which is Thursday, August 27th, and it ends on January the 27th of 2027. Major Jordan, Ty Dolla $ign, and Austin Mills are the artists performing on the tour. Rico Nasty, her tour starts tomorrow. Tomorrow, August 19th. August 29th through October the 12th. Only person that's performing on the tour is Haley Williams. And Suicide Boy. Suicide Boy. Grade Day Tour 2026. Okay, this name sounds very alarming right now. This name sounds so alarming, it's not even funny right now. Yeah, this name sounds very alarming right now.
Why?
I'm sorry, but this name, this shit sounds so fucking alarming to me. It's very alarming. You know what I'm saying? Like, why the hell would you name yourself fucking Suicide Boy? Why? Are you that crazy? Really? Are you an idiot? Anyway, man, I digress on that shit, man. oh, oh my fucking gosh, man. Like seriously. Like, come on, man. Anyway, let me keep going here, man. Let me see. All right, where did I leave off here? Actually, man, hold on. Yeah, yeah, man. Suicide Boy Grey Day Tour 2026 already started. It starts tomorrow, August 29th, and it ends on October the 20th. And other artists performing on the tour is Shoreline Mafia, Destroy Lonely. What? Oh shit. Shakewell, Drain, Black Crane. Oh man. And Slim Gucci. Oh my gosh. Larizi Skittle Bandana Tour starts tomorrow, August 29th through December the 5th. And Young Thug New Generation Tour starts September 1st, which is Tuesday, and it ends on October 24th. Other artists that's going to be there performing is Tezas, um, 13, wait, hold on, 1,300 Saint, Lyris, Yume, Biggs, Unky, and Diamond. Shit. I believe this is how you pronounce it. I think it's yeah. You pronounce. I think you pronounce it Black, but it has a 6 on there. Anyway, 10 years of 10 years of Black World Tour. It starts September 8th and it ends on December 11th. Artist that's gonna be there is Double EM, Triplin, and Johnny Venus. Erykah Badu and the Alchemist live tour starts September 9th through September 29th. That's a short tour. De La Soul and Smino is gonna be performing. YG Gentlemen's Club tour starts September the 10th and ends on November the 8th. Mozzie, Kalon, FRFR, and Chef Boy are going to be there performing. And Lupe Fiasco and Gym Class Heroes Back to Basis tour starts September the 10th and it ends on October the 25th. Oh shit. Yeah. Birdman and Master P Cash Money No Limit tour starts September 11th and it ends on November the 15th. And the only person performing on tour is going to be Boosie Badass. And let's see. SD Kid Council House Rat Tour starts September the 12th and it ends on December the 11th. Ooh. Okay. And Rod Wave Don't Look Down Tour starts September the 12th and ends on November the 18th. Chief Keef Live 26 Tour starts September the 12th and ends on October the 28th. That's 2 days before Halloween. Osama Sun, Psych Psychternal Tour. Psychternal Tour starts September the 16th and ends on October the 14th. Cupcake, yum. The Bakery Tour 2 starts September the 18th and ends on November the 20th. Let me see, Puya Forever Glades Tour starts September the 26th, ends on December the 8th. Artists that's going to be there performing: Ramirez, Fat Nick, Black Smurf, and Come Help Glow. Doja Cat and Lotto Tour Ma V World Tour starts October the 1st and ends on December the 1st. Schoolboy Q, 10 Years of Blank Face LP Tour starts October the 1st and ends on October the 17th. Whoa. Yeah. Hurricane Wisdom Weathering the World Tour starts October the 7th, ends on November the 22nd before Thanksgiving. Let's see. AZ Chike, No Rest for the Wicked Tour starts October the 16th and ends on November the 19th. Vince Staples Crybaby Tour starts October 19th through November the 15th. Let's see. Shine 2622 Legend Tour starts October the 21st and ends on December 5th. Lil Cease and Barrington Levy is going to be there performing. Young Gravy Young Gravy Joyrider Tour starts October the 22nd and ends on December the 16th. Artists that's going to be there performing are Tara Reid, DJ Trip, and Pertinence. Let's see. And last but not least, Cypress Hill Diaz Bendigo Tour starts November the 5th and ends on November the 15th. Wow. That's pretty much it with the rappers being on tour, man. You like to know more information and where and what city and what area these performers are going to be. You can take a look at their websites for more information and for more tickets to see if there's more tickets left. All right. And yeah, let me see. Before I go on, let me see something real quick. Yeah. So right now the Mets have one run, and the Houston Astros they got 3 runs. So it's a 6th inning. I'm gonna keep track of it. Don't worry. I'm gonna keep track of this shit too. So yeah. And there is a popular racing game that I want to go over actually, which is one of my favorite games actually. Gran Turismo. All right. It's been over 25 years? It's been over 25 years and shit. Hold on. Hang on one second here. Hold on one second here. Yeah, Gran Turismo. Yes, that's the next thing I'm going to talk about here. Let me drag this. Okay. Let's go on to. Here we go. Okay, time for the video game entertainment newsroom. Let's go. Gran Turismo celebrates. Actually, we're gonna go over 25 years. 25 years of a celebration of the Gran Turismo game franchise. I've always wanted to go over this actually. This is one of my favorite games actually. So let's start there. Gran Turismo is a series of sim racing video games developed by Polyphony Digital. Released for PlayStation systems, Gran Turismo games are intended to emulate the appearance and performance of a large selection of vehicles, most of which are licensed reproductions of real world automobiles. Since the franchise's debut in 1997, over 100 million units have been sold worldwide, making it the highest selling video game franchise under the PlayStation brand. Let's see. Handling of the vehicles in Gran Turismo games is based on the principles of real world physics, requiring the player to understand real race driving techniques to be competitive, although various assists are available for less experienced drivers. The series features a wide variety of vehicles ranging from everyday cars to exotic sports cars and purpose built racing cars, and from classics to modern cars. Various modifications can usually be made to the cars to alter their performance and appearance. The games often include numerous tracks to drive on, with both laser scan replicas of real real world venues and fictional tracks appearing throughout the series. The series also performed as technical support for cars in the LMP1 class of the 24 hours of Le Mans and the Newburgh Newburgring 24-hour race. Gran Turismo games typically feature a single player campaign with numerous races, championships, license tests, and other challenges. Completing these events rewards the player with prizes such as in-game money, which can be used to purchase new vehicles or upgrade existing ones. Players generally start with slower and cheaper cars and build up a garage featuring faster and more expensive cars progress through as they progress through the game. Newer installments in the series have also included an online multiplayer element which features both competitive and casual play. Notable competitions held on Gran Turismo include the Gran Turismo World Series and the former GT Academy.
Gran Turismo is one of PlayStation's most successful franchises, having garnered both commercial success and critical acclaim. The first title in the series was the highest selling game for the original PlayStation, while four subsequent installments have been among the top three best selling games for their respective consoles. Multiple entries in the series have been ranked among the greatest video games of all time. In 2023, the series received a film adaptation. I'm going to save that for a future episode. And it became a sport for the Olympic esports with the backing of the FIA. Many car manufacturers have designed virtual concept cars specifically for the series, and it has partnerships with Brembo, Dunlop, um, Tires with a Y, Mazda, Toyota, Gazoo Racing, and Fanatec for the Gran Turismo World Series. In 2024, Mercedes-AMG recognized Gran Turismo 7 as part of sim racing. All right, let's get to the gameplay here. All right, so the Gran Turismo series is known for its accurate driving physics, emulation, a large number of licensed vehicles, attention to vehicle detail, the ability to tune a car's performance, and realistic graphics. Its physics emulation includes real world dynamic. Excuse me, real world real world dynamics such as weight transfer, suspension response, and understeer oversteer characteristics. The sim has been a flagship for the PlayStation consoles, graphics, capabilities, and is often used to demonstrate the system's potential. It has a replay system shown with a cinematic presentation. The physics of the vehicles are based on their real life counterparts, and they are represented in the PlayStation controllers, rumble features and in specialized racing wheels designed for Gran Turismo and sim racing. Although Gran Turismo has an arcade mode, most gameplay derives from its simulation mode. Players that Players start with a certain number of credits, usually 10,000, which are used to purchase vehicles from several manufacturer specific shops or from used car dealers, and then tune their car at the appropriate parts store for best performance. Certain events are open only to particular types of vehicles. In order to enter and progress through more difficult races, a licensed testing system has been implemented, which guides players through skill development. Players may apply prize money won in events to upgrade their fixing car or buy a new one, collecting a garage of vehicles. Gran Turismo was the first modern simulator of the 21st century to promote racing with a wheel instead of a controller. All right, let's go to the reception. Let's go to the reception. All right, so the Gran Turismo Sim series has been one of the most popular over its lifetime, appealing to an audience ranging from amateur to professional sim racers like Igor Fraga. In 2017, Edge said the first Gran Turismo was one of the 10 greatest video games of the last 20 years. Gran Turismo 2, Gran Turismo 3, Aspect, Gran Turismo 4, and Gran Turismo 5 have all been named by different organizations as one of the best games of all time. Gran Turismo Sports' changes to series tradition were initially controversial among fans, but it ultimately became a popular game for esports competitions. Gran Turismo 7 was strongly criticized by players for its implementation of microtransactions and a pay-to-play system. The user score in Metacritic as of 20 as of March 20th, 2022 is 2.2 out of 10, which is Sony's lowest user rating and the lowest score in PlayStation exclusive history on the site to date. Because of the success of the Gran Turismo series, Guinness World Records awarded the series 7 world records in the Guinness World Records Gamers Edition 2008. These records include largest number of cars in a racing game, highest selling PlayStation game, oldest car in a racing game, and largest instruction guide for a racing game. The success of the series has led to other studios creating simulation racing games similar to the franchise. An early example was Advan Racing by Atlas, which was released for the original PlayStation in November 1998. Sega's answer to the franchise, Sega GT, was released on the short-lived Dreamcast console and later had a sequel on the original Xbox before the franchise died off after low sales. Turn 10 would later create the Forza Motorsport series for the Xbox consoles, which later saw releases on Windows, which has been often seen as the primary rival of the Gran Turismo series. Other similar titles include Driving Emotion Type S by Square and Enthusia Professional Racing by Konami. In 2005, Meta Corporation, in association with Tokyo University of Science, researched the feasibility of making a real-life replica version of the fictional Grand Valley Speedway used in the series. In acknowledgement of the Mount Panorama Circuit's inclusion in Gran Turismo 6, the city of Bathurst in Australia unveiled a new street called Gran Turismo Drive in December 2013. Mayor of Bathurst, Gary Rush, said driving a lap of our world famous motor racing circuit is a life-changing experience for those who have the chance. And the Bathurst or Bathurst, however you pronounce it, Regional Council is very excited about opening up the Mount Panorama experience through the launch of Gran Turismo 6. Also in 2013, series creator Kazunori um, Yama, hold on, Kazunori Yamachi had a street named in honor of him in the city of Ronda, Spain, named Paseo de Kazunori Yamachi. The street snakes around the Parador de Ronda. According to Ronda's city mayor, Maria de la Paz Fernandez Lobato, there's no doubt that his work has a huge cultural resonance with people today. He has driven the racing game genre to new levels of realism, and his creations are as much art as technology. Ronda's association with Gran Turismo is also a reflection that our ancient city is a modern, vibrant place to live and very much part of the 21st century. All right. So the sales. So the sales. More than 100 million copies of Gran Turismo titles have been sold. It is the highest selling sim series of PlayStation consoles. The first Gran Turismo sold just under 11 million copies, making it the highest selling sim on the original PlayStation. Gran Turismo 2 is the third best selling sim on the console at 9 million. As of 2022, Gran Turismo 3 a spec was the highest selling out of the entire series at 15 million copies. It was also the second highest selling game on the PS2 behind Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Gran Turismo 4 was the third best selling game on the console. Gran Turismo 5 was the second highest selling out of the entire series, which IGN attributes to the long wait between the series' main installments. Gran Turismo 6 sold half the copies of the previous game, being even lower than 5 Prologue. Wow. So there you go, right there. Wow. Okay. All right, let's go over Gran Turismo 2. All right, Gran Turismo 2 is a 1999 sim racing video game developed by Polyphony Digital and published by Sony Computer Entertainment for the PlayStation. It is the sequel to Gran Turismo, the second installment of the Gran Turismo series, and the first video game to be developed by Poly Digital. Let's see. Gran Turismo 2 was a critical and commercial success, shipping 1.73 million units in Asia, 3.96 million units in North America, and 3.68 million units in Europe, for a total of 9.37 million units as of April 30th, 2008, and eventually becoming a Sony Greatest Hits game. Let's go to the gameplay. Gran Turismo 2 is a racing simulation video game. The player must maneuver an automobile to compete against computer-controlled drivers on various racetracks. The game uses two different modes: arcade mode and simulation mode. Gran Turismo, yeah, a Gran Turismo mode in PAL and Japanese versions. In arcade mode, the player can freely choose vehicles they wish to choose and can enable damage, while simulation mode requires the player to earn driver's licenses, pay for vehicles, and earn trophies in order to unlock new and returning courses. Gran Turismo 2 features nearly 650 automobiles and 27 racing tracks, including rally tracks. Compared with Gran Turismo, the gameplay, physics, and graphics are very similar. The only real noticeable difference in vehicle dynamics was the brakes, which became much less likely to lock up and cause the vehicle to oversteer. The major changes are the vastly expanded number of cars, tracks, and races in simulation mode. Other differences include that the player can race events separately. If they do not want to enter the whole tournament, the player is no longer able to qualify for each race entered. All right, so the reception goes like this. Metacritic gives it 93 out of 10. All Game gives it 4 out of 5. CNET Game Center gives it 10 out of 10. Edge gives it 9 out of 10. Electronic Gaming Monthly gives it 10 out of 10. EP Daily gives it 10 out of 10. Eurogamer gives it 9 out of 10. Famitsu gives it 34 out of 40. Game Informer gives it 9.5 out of 10. Game Fan gives it 97% out of 85%. Game Revolution gives it an A minus. GameSpot gives it 8.5 out of 10. IGN gives it 9.8 out of 10. Next Generation 4 out of 5. Official US PlayStation Magazine gives it 5 out of 5. Gran Turismo 2 received universal acclaim according to the review aggregation website Metacritic. Dan Egger of Next Gen said, "The rushed production of this game botched what could have been a near perfect sequel. As it stands, Gran Turismo 2 is still the best racer ever made. Imagine what it could have been if Sony hadn't bungled the release." In Japan, Famitsu gave it a score of 34 out of 40. In one review, Air Hendricks of GamePro said, "Sure, better visuals would have been icing on the cake, but Gran Turismo 2000 for the PlayStation 2 will make amends there. In the meantime, you can climb behind the wheel of GT2. It's another awesome ride." Another review, Uncle Dust said, "Oh shit, Uncle Dust, wow. That's a shitty ass name anyway, but I digress. Even though Gran Turismo 2 shows its age and rally mode doesn't live up to the rest of the game, GT2 is still as close as you can get to the real thing and always worth the drive." Upon release, the game sold 815,430 units in Japan during its first week on sale. In the UK, it sold 130,000 units and grossed 4.3 million euros, or $6,506,000, which is equivalent to $12,200,000 in 2025. In its first weekend, surpassing The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time to become the UK's fastest selling title, and it sold about 250,000 units in its first week. It was a bestseller for 2 months in Japan and the UK. In the US, it sold more than 1 million units within 6 weeks and has sold 3 million units by early 2001. In total, it has sold 9.37 million units worldwide. Official UK PlayStation Magazine listed the game as the 4th best of all time. It also received a double platinum sales award from the Entertainment and Leisure Software Publishers Association, indicating sales of at least 600,000 units in the UK. Gran Turismo 2 was a finalist for Console Game of the Year, Console Racing Game of the Year, and Outstanding Achievement in Game Design during the 3rd Annual Interactive Achievement Awards. Okay. Let's go over Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec, which is a 2001 sim racing video game to be exact, developed by Polyphony Digital and published by Sony Computer Entertainment for the PlayStation 2. It is the 3rd installment in the Gran Turismo series. During its demonstration at E3 2000 and E3 2001, the game was known under the working title Gran Turismo 2000. With previous titles being developed for the original PlayStation, Gran Turismo 3 marked the series' first foray into the 6th generation of video game consoles. Originally slated for a 2000 release as a launch title for the PlayStation 2, the game's development primarily focused on taking advantage of the console's newfound hardware capabilities while compromising on the number of available vehicles. The game was a significant leap forward in terms of graphics, physics, sound design, car modeling, opponent AI, environments, and technical performance. Like its predecessors, the game released to critical acclaim and was a commercial success. It went on to become the best-selling game in the series to date, the best-selling PlayStation 2 exclusive, and the second best-selling PlayStation 2 game, um, behind only Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, having sold over 14.8 million copies since release. It is considered one of the greatest video games ever made, a landmark shift to the next generation of consoles. It is often cited as a turning point for the series and the sim racing genre as a whole. Its successor, Gran Turismo 4, was released in December 2004. All right, so the gameplay of the gameplays. So the objective of the game is to win all the provided races, championships, complete license tests, and achieve 100% game completion. Every 25% of the game completed results in the player being awarded a car as a special prize. For GT3, the Gran Turismo mode, which is the simulation mode in the North American version, has a reorganized layout with a more structured and progressive arrangement of races and challenges. Races vary from short beginner events to multi-hour endurance races and also rallying events against an opponent. In addition to these modes, car shops are now organized by country and then by manufacturer. The arcade mode is reorganized in stages. These stages are made up of 5 or 6 tracks pulled from all available tracks in the game, including both road and rally races. Seventh inning, Astros still leading 3-1. But the Mets are trying to make a comeback, so I'm gonna keep track of the score. Anyway, to let me see where was I? Races vary from short beginner events to multi-hour endurance races and also rallying events against an opponent. In addition to these modes, car shops are now organized by country and then by manufacturer. The arcade mode is reorganized in stages. These stages are made up of 5 or 6 tracks pulled from all available tracks in the game, including both road and rally races. To get to the next stage, all tracks on a stage must be completed on easy difficulty or higher. By beating the stage on normal or difficult, additional cards are unlocked as well for play in any mode of arcade mode, including 2-player battle and time trial. GT3 features 19 race courses, 14 of which have reverse variants and 4 of which are dirt tracks. Most of these circuits are at fictional locations, but California Laguna Seca Raceway and Cote de Azure, which is heavily based on the Monaco Grand Prix circuit, are not. Other changes include the omission of the ability to race modify or add downforce to production cars, removal of suspension damage, and the absence of torque limits for races. Race modifications would make a return in 2010's Gran Turismo 5 for the PlayStation 3, but were again omitted in the following game. New to the franchise, GT3 also contained unlicensed versions of 6 actual Formula One cars labeled as F686 slash M, F687 slash S, F688 slash S, F090 slash S, F094 slash H, and F094 slash S that the player could win from endurance races. In the Japanese and American versions, the name of each car denotes various pieces of information. For example, the aforementioned F094 slash S was the 10-cylinder, the 1994 season car driven by Ayrton Senna, whereas the F686 slash M represented the 6-cylinder 1986 season car driven by Nigel Mansell. In the PAL release, however, there were only 2 F1 cars, not obviously based on any real-life counterparts, and instead labeled as Polyphony 001 and 002, respectively. GT3 also marks informal appearances of automakers Lamborghini and Porsche. A racing JGTC Lamborghini Diablo was featured in the NTSC-J version. And in the NTSCU version's game code, only accessible with a cheat device. And a Porsche 911 GT3 can be found in the game code, though it cannot be attained normally in any version of the game and also requires the use of a cheat device. Both cars, together with 2 hidden Lancia Stratoses, however, are completely absent in PAL version. Lamborghini would make its first official appearance in 2009's Gran Turismo for PlayStation Portable, while Porsche made its first official appearance in Gran Turismo Sport for the PlayStation 4. All right, reception. Metacritic gives this game 95 out of 100. All Game gives it 4.5 out of 5. Edge gives it 8 out of 10. Electronic Gaming Monthly, 10 out of 10. Also 10 out of 10 by Eurogamer. Famitsu, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, and 10 out of 10. Game Informer gives it 9 out of 10. Game Pro, 5 out of 5. Game Revolution, B+. GameSpot, 9.4 out of 10. GameSpy, 4.5 out of 5. GameZone, 9.8 out of 10. Also 9.8 out of 10 by IGN. Next Generation, 5 out of 5. Also 5 out of 5 by official US PlayStation Magazine. The Cincinnati Enquirer also has the same result of 5 out of 5. And Maxim is 10 out of 10. All right, so Game Critics Awards, Best Racing Game of 2001, 6 Animation Kobe Awards, Package Work Package Work Award, 5th Annual Interactive Achievement Awards Console Racing. Gran Turismo 3 A Spec received universal acclaim like its predecessors, according to review aggregator website Metacritic. Reviewers praised its graphics, realism, soundtrack, sound design, and controls. Frank O'Connor of Next Gen called it the best, most complete, and most impressive driving game so far, lapping its predecessors handily, and the first must-have for PlayStation 2. In Japan, Famitsu gave it a near perfect score of 39 out of 40. In Japan, the game sold 1 million units in its first 3 days of release. In North America, it shipped 1 million units in its first day and became the fastest selling software launch in the region. By July 2006, it has sold 3.8 million units and earned $120 million, equivalent to $218 million in 2025 in the US alone. Next Gen ranked it as the third highest selling game launched for the PlayStation 2, Xbox, or GameCube between January 2000 and July 2006 in that country. The United Kingdom, the game received a double platinum sales award from the Entertainment and Leisure Software Publishers Association, indicating sales of at least 600,000 units in the UK. In Europe, the game is 64 million euros. That's $57 million in 2001, adding up to at least more than $177 million. That's equivalent to $322 million in 2025, grossed in the United States by 2006 and Europe in 2001. The game had sold over 8 million units worldwide by March 2002 and over 11 million by March 2003. As of April 30th, 2008, the game has shipped 1.89 million units in Japan, 7.14 million in North America, 5.85 million in Europe, and 10,000 in Southeast Asia for a total of 14.89 million copies. It is the highest selling game in the Gran Turismo franchise. It is part of the PlayStation 2's greatest hits. It ranked 15th in the list of best-selling unbundled console games of all time, just below Wii Fit Plus. GameSpot named it the 5th best console game of 2001 and presented it with a Best Driving Game award among console games. It was a runner-up in the Best PlayStation 2 game, Best Sound, and Best Graphics technical categories. During the 5th Annual Interactive Achievement Awards, the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences honored Gran Turismo 3 A Spec with the Console Racing Award. It was also nominated for Console Game of the Year and Outstanding Achievement. Excuse me. Yes, Outstanding Achievement in Visual Engineering, which were both ultimately given to Halo Combat Evolved. The legacy of the game has appeared on some top 100 games lists, such as that by IGN in 2003. In 2004, readers of Retro Gamer voted Gran Turismo 3 97th top Retro Gamer, and with the staff noting that the mix of realistic handling and superb graphics, not to mention the fact that it features hundreds of licensed vehicles, has won it the admiration of car lovers everywhere. The gameplay may be a little too deep and difficult for many, but for its core followers, Gran Turismo is the be all and end all of digital racing, and GT3 has been voted as the best of the bunch. Let's see. And let me see. All right, so let's go to all right, Gran Turismo Concept is a 2002 sim racing video game developed by Polyphony Digital and published by Sony Computer Entertainment for the PlayStation 2. It is the fourth overall installment the Gran Turismo series. The full game was unreleased in the North American market, although a stripped down version of it was released in the form of Gran Turismo Nissan 350Z Edition. Oof. So the 2001 Tokyo version features Tokyo Motor Show 2001 concept cars, including the Nissan GT-R Concept 01, for a total of 51 cars. The game also comes with a 64-page manual featuring images of the available cars. It was released in Japan and Southeast Asia on January 1st, 2002. As of April 2008, Gran Turismo Concept 2001 Tokyo had shipped 430,000 copies in Japan and 10,000 in Southeast Asia. 2002 Tokyo CO. A second version of 2002 Tokyo CO was released in South Korea on May 16th, 2002 to celebrate the PlayStation 2 official launch in this country. It featured cars from the 2001 Tokyo version plus additional models unveiled at the CO Motor Show. This game introduced South Korean automakers like Hyundai in the Gran Turismo series. As of April 2008, Gran Turismo Concept 2002 Tokyo CO has shipped 90,000 copies in South Korea. And of course, 2002 Tokyo Geneva, a last version to 2002 Tokyo Geneva was released in Europe on July 17th, 2002. It featured all the cars from the 2002 Tokyo CO version, plus new models unveiled at the Geneva Motor Show, including the Volkswagen W12. A Chinese English NTSC version was released in Southeast Asia of July 25th. Adding 30 cars to the 2001 Tokyo version released earlier in this area. As of April 2008, Gran Turismo Concept 2002 Tokyo Geneva has shipped 1 million copies in Europe and 30,000 in Southeast Asia. The 2002 Tokyo Geneva is the definitive version of GT Concept, as it has the most cars, including the Ford GT40 LM edition. All right, let's get to. On release, Famitsu magazine scored the 2001 Tokyo version of the game a 33 out of 40. As of April 30th, 2008. All versions of Gran Turismo Concept combined have shipped 430,000 copies in Japan, 1 million in Europe, and 130,000 in Asia for a total of 1.56 million copies. Let's see. What is this? Okay. Gran Turismo 4 is a 2004 sim racing video game developed by Polyphony Digital and published by Sony Computer Entertainment for the PlayStation 2. It is the fourth main installment and the sixth overall in the Gran Turismo series. It was released on December 28th, 2004 in Japan and Hong Kong, February 22nd, 2005 in North America, and March 9th, 2005 in Europe, and has since been reissued under Sony's Greatest Hits brand. Originally planned for a 2003 release, Gran Turismo 4 was delayed for over a year and a half by Polyphony Digital and had its online mode removed. The game features over 721 cars from 80 manufacturers. Damn. That's a lot of cars. Shit. From as early as the 1886 Daimler Motor Carriage and as far into the future as concepts for 2022. The game also features 51 tracks, many of which are new or modified versions of old Gran Turismo tracks, with some notable real-world additions. Gran Turismo 4 was well received critically and a commercial success, becoming one of the highest selling games of 2005 and the fourth best selling game on the PlayStation 2. The Chinese, Japanese, and South Korean releases of the game were bundled with a 212-page driving guide and lessons on the physics of racing. A PlayStation Portable enhanced port entitled Gran Turismo Mobile was originally planned for development but was later renamed to Gran Turismo, which was released on October 1st, 2009. Now, the gameplay includes players accumulate points by winning races in the normal first-person driving mode called A-Spec mode. Each race event can yield up to a maximum of 200 A-Spec points. Generally, a win using a car with less of an advantage over the AI opponents is worth more points. Points can only be won once. So to win further points from a previous one event, it must be re-won by using a car with less of an advantage over the AI, which is artificial intelligence, of course. There are also 34 driving missions, which yield 250 points each. Despite this, A-Spec points are experience points as opposed to currency. The new B-Spec mode puts players in the place of a racing crew chief, telling the driver how aggressively to drive, when to pass, and mandating pit stops. The speed of the time in the race can be increased up to 3 times, allowing for endurance races to be completed in less time than would take in A-Spec mode. The three times feature, however, must be turned on after every pit stop because it resets to normal time. The game manual says that the player may speed up B spec mode by up to 5 times, but this is believed to be a typo. B spec points are given out for each race completed in B spec mode. This increases the skill level of the AI driver in the categories of vehicle skill, of course, skill, and battle skill. Players can thereby use B spec mode in harder races as the game progresses, but this mode cannot be used on wet, dirt, and snow courses. Another new addition to the game is the driving missions, which are similar in experience to the license test, but award successful completion with 250 A spec points and 1,000 or more credits. Each mission takes place with a given car on a given track or section of track and give a given set of opponents. There are 4 sets of missions: the pass, in which the driver must overtake an opponent with certain distance; 3-lap battle, in which the driver must pass 5 opponents over the course of 3 laps; slipstream battle, in which the driver must overtake identical opponents by way of drafting; and 1 lap magic, in which the driver starts with a significant time penalty against much slower opponents and must overtake them all in the space of a single lap. Completing each set of missions earns the player a prize car. A new photo mode is included in the game, which allows the player to control a virtual camera, taking pictures of their cars on the track or at specific locations, including the Grand Canyon. This game is able to produce a selection of screenshots with variable compression rate, and that's normal, fine, super fine, and size up to 1280 and 960, 72 DPI. And the user can choose to save or print to a supported USB device. Let's see. Compared with Gran Turismo 3, A-Spec graphics are greatly improved with more detail on cars and tracks. The physics are also greatly improved with the major upgrade that cars now experience body movement, such as under braking. Barriers have considerably more friction to slow down the cars in GT4, but there is minimal friction between cars, so the advantage obtained by running into the side of another car is still present instead of braking. Each of the driving missions and special conditions events give a 5-second penalty for hitting the walls or opponents' cars in this way, where the car's speed is restricted to 50 kilometers, which is 31 miles per hour, until the timer disappears when it reaches 0. Jeez Louise. Jeez Louise, man. Metacritic gives GT4 89 out of 100. Edge gives it 7 out of 10. Eurogamer gives it 8 out of 10. Famitsu gives it 39 out of 40. Game Informer gives it 9.25 out of 10. GamePro gives it 4.5 out of 5. Game Revolution gives it a B plus. GameSpot gives it 8.9 out of 10. GameSpy gives it 4.5 out of 5. Game Zone gives it 9.7 out of 10. IGN gives it 9.5 out of 10. Official US PlayStation Magazine gives it 5 out of 5. Detroit Free Passes gives it 3 out of 4. Maxim gives it gives it 10 out of 10. And of course, Game Critics Awards gives it for best racing game of 2003. Gran Turismo 4 received generally favorable reviews according to review aggregator website Metacritic. Jeremy Clarkson, host of the Top Gear television program, performed a head-to-head test of real life versus GT4 on an episode of the program. He ran Laguna Seca Raceway in real life and used an Acura NSX for a lap time of 1 minute and 57 seconds. But in the game, he used a Honda NSXR, which is lighter, with a lap time of 1 minute and 41 seconds. 1 minute and 41 seconds, 148. Clarkson also had to be shown by a driving instructor where the line was between the game and reality. He pointed out that adjusting one's braking mid-turn in a real car could cause loss of control, and also mentioned that in the game he is compelled to take bigger risks than he would in real life, and that in the game the car did not suffer from brake fades, despite the apparent discrepancies in a column for the Sunday Times. Clarkson gave the score Clarkson gave the game a score of 3 stars out of 5 and had this to say about it, in quote, "I called Sony and asked it to send me a game chip already loaded with the 700 computer cars, and I am in a position to test out its claims because unlike most people, I really have driven almost all of them in real life. There are mistakes. The BMW M3 CSL, for instance, brakes much better on the road than it does on the screen. And there's no way a Peugeot 106 could outdrag a Fiat Punto off the line. But other than this, I'm struggling. They've even managed to accurately reflect the differences between a Mercedes SL 600 and the Mercedes SL 55, which is hard enough to do in real life. There's more, too. If you take a banked curve in the Bentley layman's car flat out, you'll be fine. If you back off even a little bit, you lose the aerodynamic grip and end up spinning. That's how it is. This game would only be more real if a big spike shot out of the screen and skewered your head every time you crashed. In fact, that's the only real drawback, that you can hit the barriers hard without ever damaging you or your car. Maybe they are saving that for GT5. Perhaps it'll be called Death or Glory. Oh no. Carl Breuer of Emmons.com performed a similar test, also at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca, in which he and 2 others, professional race driver AJ Almendinger and IGN gaming editor Justin Kaler, set times in GT4 and real life in a variety of cars. Brower's best time in a Ford GT in the game was 1 minute and 38 seconds, and his best time on the real track was 1 minute and 52 seconds. In the four vehicles the trio tested, none was able to duplicate his game times on the real track. Brower suggested the main differences between the game and reality, which brings up the single biggest difference between reality and virtual reality consequences. A mistake on Gran Turismo 4 cost me nothing more than a bad lap time. A mistake with a real exotic car on a real racetrack is a bit more costly. The other major difference between virtual racing and the real thing is feedback from the car, or an almost total lack thereof. Yes, the force feedback steering wheel does its best to let you know when you are veering off the track or sliding the rear end, but none of this comes close to the kind of information you get while driving a real vehicle. And in a car like the Ford GT, that's vital information. Let's see. Many reviewers criticize the game for its continued lack of rendered damage. Instead of actual damage, the cars, depending on the speed, the speed angle in which the collision occurred, simply bounce or spin off of the car, wall, or obstacle. Reviewers complain of the continued ability to take unrealistic shortcuts, such as the ones on Fuji Speedway 90's Driving Park Beginner's Course and Circuit de la Sarthe, Sarthe 1, where the driver can cut right across the chicane, allowing a player to win by cheating. One receiver also complained that the game's vehicles do not have enough grip. The game has also been criticized for lack of online play, which had been promised during early development, but was announced as being removed at the time of release. Many reviewers expressed disappointment in the game's AI system, noting that virtual races will allow their driving line, with a little concern for where the human driver is at any one time. This is more evident during rally races and missions in which a 5-second speed penalty is given for hitting the other cars or the barriers, regardless of who initiated the contact. Some critics found B spec mode to offer little to the overall experience. Non-video game publications made some positive reception too. Sean Cunningham of Maxim gave the game a perfect 10 and asked, "Is GT4 more fetish than game? Probably, but if this is a fetish, then put a leather hood on us and whip us till we bleed." Oh shit! Oh shit! Jason of the Sydney Morning Herald gave it all 5 stars and stated that the game's biggest strength is the realistic handling. You feel every nuance of the car's movements, weight shifts, and suspension, particularly with a Driving Force Pro steering wheel. This is a peerless driving simulation that will test even professional drivers. Charles Harold of the New York Times gave it a positive review and stated that while the game aims for realism, it occasionally falls short. Competitors drive like mindless automations, seemingly unaware of your existence. Cars can take endless amounts of damage, allowing you to control your turns by bouncing off other cars like a pinball. If a track doesn't have walls like one set in the Grand Canyon, then an invisible barrier prevents you from going off track. However, Jim Schaefer of the Detroit Free Press gave it 3 stars out of 4 and stated that GT mode does a great job of organizing your choices on a large home map. You can leave your garbage to race or jump over to Algo new and used rides at domestic and foreign dealerships, take on special challenges and buy parts upgrades. And of course, it got awarded the E3 2003 Game Critics Awards for Best Racing Game. IGM, fifth best PS2 game of all time. By February 2005, Gran Turismo 4 had sold more than 1 million units in Japan. More than yeah. By March 2005, Gran Turismo 4 has sold over 6 million units worldwide. Gran Turismo 4 received a double platinum sales award from the Entertainment and Leisure Software Publishers Association, indicating sales of at least 600,000 copies in the United Kingdom. It sold more than 611,000 units in the United Kingdom by December 2005. By March 2016, Gran Turismo 4 had shipped 1.27 million copies in Japan, 3.47 million in North America, 6.83 in Europe, and 180,000 in Asia, for a total of 11.76 million copies. It is the third highest selling game in the Gran Turismo franchise, ahead of Gran Turismo, but behind Gran Turismo 5 and Gran Turismo 3. A spec. Let's see. Where was I? All righty then. What is this? Gran Turismo HD Concept is a sim racing video game demo developed by Polyphony Digital and published by Sony Computer Entertainment for the PlayStation 3. Yeah, they lost. It is the first installment of the Gran Turismo racing video game series to be released on the console. It was made available as a free download, which was released on the PlayStation Store on December 24th, 2006. A Blu-ray disc version called Install Disc was released in Japan in limited quantities in September 2007. The game was intended to be a sneak preview in the likes of Gran Turismo Concept, preceding the release of a full version title, but the Gran Turismo HD project was canceled and replaced by Gran Turismo 5 Prologue. Let's see. Gran Turismo HD Concept includes external view or rear view and bumper view. The latter introduces left and right view as seen from the driver's helmet. Left and right views are available with both 6-axis and steering wheel peripherals. Um, per, perif- peripherals. Although they are not assigned in the wireless controller's default configuration. As a short title, the concept version only features 10 cars ranging from the Suzuki Cappuccino to the Ferrari 599, available in both stock and tuned version once unlocked. The game's opening movie focuses on Didier's Oreo's 1995 Toyota Celica GT4 WRC and the Lotus Elise 111R. And the game features only a single track, the Eiger Nor Wand, which is Eiger North Face, which is a newly created mountain pass track based on the Klein Schneidag and featuring the Swiss Alps' famous Manche and John Frog Peaks. The track is also available in reverse mode once unlocked. 2 play modes are available: time trial and drift trial. Both modes feature an internet ranking chart for each continent. Gran Turismo HD Concept is the first game in the franchise to support online ranking. Japanese area ranking ended on September 30th, 2007, with the removal of Gran Turismo HD Concept from the local PlayStation Store. The replay mode is also available. Each course's best 5 records per car in both time and drift trial can be downloaded by users under the form of a replay file. And Metacritic gives the game 82 out of 100. As of June 2007, the game has over 900,000 downloads from the PlayStation Store. Okay, so Gran Turismo 5 is a 2010 sim racing video game developed by Polyphony Digital and published by Sony Computer Entertainment for the PlayStation 3. It is the 5th main installment and the 10th overall in the Gran Turismo series. It was released on November 24th, 2010 in Europe and North America, and November 25th, 2010 in Japan and Australasia. Australasia. It was preceded by the prologue version and is the first main entry of the series to be released for the PlayStation 3. Let's see. The game marks the first entry in the series with online races with support for up to 16 players. A damage model has been included with variations of damage depending on the car. Over 1,000 cars, 29 different locations, 77 different tracks, and a track generator are available in the game. Dynamic time and weather effects make their debut in the series. World Rally Championship, NASCAR, and Super GT licenses are utilized for the first time in the Gran Turismo series. Yes, Super GT licenses are utilized for the first time in the Gran Turismo series. Gran Turismo 5 was well received critically and a commercial success, becoming the second best selling PlayStation 3 game, the best selling PlayStation 3 exclusive, and the third best-selling game in the series with nearly 12 million copies sold. The game also won multiple awards and turned some players into real-life professional racing drivers with the GT Academy competition. Wow. The gameplay goes like this. Gran Turismo 5 is the first game in the franchise to provide a damage model with variations of damage depending on the car. The game also features weather effects, which are available on certain circuits. Optional stereoscopic 3D resolution and karting found a place in the game. Furthermore, new visual effects have been introduced, including dynamic skid marks, dust, and the ability for drivers to flash their headlights. Of course, editor, which allows the player to create new circuits by using tools that randomly generate track parts according to certain player selected specifications, including the number of corners, the time of day, and the number of sectors. There are a variety of themes the player can choose from to act as a base for each circuit design. Themes, yes, themes also have an effect on track length and highest elevation. Let's see. The physics are significantly revised compared to Gran Turismo 4. Excuse me, car, car, hold on. Cars no longer instantly turn in, but realistically must load up the outside wheel first, and destabilizing effects, such as underbraking, have greater influence. Gran Turismo 5 is the first game in the franchise to include both mechanical and external damage modeling, including a real-time deformation engine that processes model deformation according to the speed and angle of impact. It is also possible to overturn cars for the first time in the series. The cars in GT5 are separated into premium and standard vehicles. Premium vehicles are more detailed and include a fully detailed cockpit view, while standard vehicles are less detailed. Standard cars initially could not receive aftermarket wheels. However, as of the version 2.02 update, this is no longer the case. Gran Turismo 2 previously included damage, but was limited to mechanical failures only. Oh boy. All right. So Gran Turismo 5 allows players to drive 31 different locations or scenery and 81 different track layouts. Dunsfold Aerodrome, located in the United Kingdom, the test track of the British automotive television show Top Gear, is included in the game. The playable demo of Gran Turismo 5 at Gamescom 2009 featured the Tokyo Route 246 track, seen in previous incarnations of the game. Various real-life circuits returned from previous games in the series. These um, include Nürburgring, Circuit de la Sarthe, um, Tsukuba Circuit, Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca, and Suzuka Circuit. New real life circuits included in the game include Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Monza Circuit, Daytona International Speedway, and two new Rome and Madrid City circuits. Many fictional circuits returned from previous games in the series, including Trial Mountain, Deep Forest Raceway, and Autumn Ring. An official list of all tracks available in the game has been released by Poly Digital. Downloadable tracks include the track pack. Downloaded content includes Circuit Day Spa, Francorchamps, Champs, and Kart Space. And that's one out of two. On January the 17th, 2012, Polyphony Digital released the Speed Test Pack that includes Special Stage Route X. In June, Twin Ring Multi G returned to the series as DLC as the 2012 GT Academy. Gran Turismo 5 provides a total of 1,089 cars. Ferrari, Lamborghini, and Bugatti make their first main release appearance in the franchise. The new Gullwing Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG appeared along with the Ferrari 458 Italia and the Lexus LFA supercar. McLaren also made their first appearance as a native manufacturer with the inclusion of the McLaren F1 road car, the F1 GTR Race Edition, and the MP4 12C road car. It is the first main release in the series to feature licensed Formula One cars, with the Ferrari F2007 and F10 included. Le Mans spec cars made a return appearance. Hybrid cars such as the Toyota Prius and the Honda Insight are included in the game. The series' creator Kazunori Yamachi mentioned that the latest hybrid and electric cars would be included, including the Tesla Roadster 2008 and Mitsubishi i-MIEV. At Gamescom 2010, it was also revealed that GT5 would include the Jaguar XJ13 race car prototype, as well as the Ferrari 330P4 and the Ford Mark IV race cars. And as the developers put it, will allow players to create the race that never came to be, since the XJ13 program was canceled before the car was ready for competition. Additionally, in addition with Red Bull Racing, the development team worked on a new prototype car called the X2010 prototype, which was designed with the idea of, if you built the fastest car on land, one that throws aside all rules and regulations, what would that car look like? How would it perform? And how would it feel to drive? This car was worked on by Polyphony Digital and Red Bull's aerodynamics expert Adrian Newey, and is one of the cars in the game. Up to 16 cars or 32 karts would be able to race on track at once, whereas previous installments allowed only 6 cars per race max. Polyphony Digital released the official vehicle list, which also shows which vehicles were to be standard or premium. The cars in GT5 are separated into 2 categories: premium and standard. Premium cars are highly detailed and thus have high polygon counts, high texture resolution, feature headlights capable of high and low beams, detailed interior camera views, and detailed damage models. Premium cars also have working windshield wipers, which are operated on tracks with rain or snow. Standard cars have lower polygon counts and texture resolution. Standard headlights and basic damage modeling. After the Spec 2.0 update, they featured simplified interior camera views. For open top cars, they have a functioning steering wheel and working hold on. Was it gouges or gauges? However you pronounce this, gauges, how you pronounce this shit. Anyway, around 25% of all cars in the game fall into the premium category. Classic sports cars are also in distinctive feature in GT5. Classics such as the Triumph Spitfire Mini Marcos and Alpha Romeo Spider have also been added. Alongside this, um, some commercial vehicles have usually been added to the game. Vehicles such as the Volkswagen Type 2 and the um, the Volkswagen Schwimmwagen have been added to the game. Downloadable cars in the Spec 2.0 update. There is the number 71 Schultz Motorsport Nissan GT-R, which Yamachi drove in the 2011 24 Hours of Nürburgring, and the new stock car designs of the 2011 NASCAR season. In the new Racing Car Pack DLC, there are 14 new touring cars that are based on cars in the game, like the Honda CRZ and the Toyota Prius. Also, there is a newer version of the Red Bull X 2010 called the X 2011. On December 20th, 2011, Polyphony Digital released Car Pack 2, which features two new Volkswagen vehicles, the Golf R and Scirocco R. The new 2012 Nissan GT-R Black Edition, and the 2011 Mini Cooper S. On January 9th, 2012, PD has released a concept video for the upcoming Acura NSX for the North American International Auto Show. However, Kazunori did not state any information about the NSX's DLC release. The week after Polyphony released Car Pack 3 together with the Speed Test Pack, which includes the Lamborghini Aventador, Aston Martin V12 Vantage, Nissan Leaf, Mini Countryman, Volkswagen Beetle, and a premium Jaguar XJR9. In June, a free DLC release added a new car, the Scion FRS, a variant model of the Toyota 86 and Scion's first vehicle to appear as a premium model. On September 25th, Update 2.08 brought three new cars: the Honda Weeder HSV 010 11 Super GT car, the Subaru BRZ, another variant of the Toyota 86, and the Nissan GT-R N24 GT Academy 12 car, which participated in the 2012 24-hour Nürburgring. On November 28th, the new 2014 Chevrolet Corvette C7 prototype was released as a free DLC. On January 15, 2013, the Chevrolet Corvette C7 final prototype was released as another free DLC. All right. Damn. So Metacritic gave the game 84 out of 100. OneUp.com gave it an A minus. Computer and Video Games gave it 8 out of 10. Just the Destructoid gave it 10 out of 10. Edge gave it 7 out of 10. Eurogamer gave it 9 out of 10. Famitsu gave it 37 out of 40. Game Informer gave it 9 out of 10. And GamePro gave it 4.5 stars. Game Revolution gave it an A minus. GameSpot 8.0 out of 10. Games Radar Plus 7 out of 10. Games TM 9 out of 10. Game Trailers 9 out of 10. IGN 8.5 out of 10. Joystick 4 out of 5. Play 9.2 out of 10. And PSM 3 9.1 out of 10. So GT5 got an award for official PS3 magazine. GamePro Editor's Choice, Gameplay Gamer, Editor's Choice, PSX Extreme, Best Sound Effects of the Year, Gamescom 2010, Best Console Game, Tokyo Game Show Future Game Award, Play, Technical Merit, Editor's Choice, Game Trailers, Best Racing Game, GameSpot, Best Driving Game, Reader's Choice, Game Revolution, Best Racing Game, PlayStation Lifestyle, Best Racing Game of 2010, PlayStation Universe, Best Driving Game, PlayStation UK, Obsession Confessions, Golden Joystick Awards, Best Racing Game. Oh boy. Yeah. Yes, Gran Turismo 5 received generally favorable reviews according to review aggregator website Metacritic. The driving physics of GT5 received high praise. Car and Driver stated that its physics model is extremely realistic. The behavior of the cars is startlingly faithful to their real-life counterparts. So they respond accordingly to poor driving and when you miss critical braking and turn-in points. Destructoid commented that, in quote, turning and braking feel incredibly natural. You get a real sense of how slamming on the brakes throws the car's weight forward. Handling actually feels like car handling and not some once removed through a game controller attempt. IGN declared that its handling model proudly restores Gran Turismo upon the driving throne. The number of cars, tracks, and features was praised. GamePro called it an amazing, deep racing game that offers an almost mind-boggling amount of racing challenges, cars, tracks, and features. Destructoid stated that the numbers that Sony and Polyphony Digital have been throwing at us don't even begin to cover how vast the game is. The game's GT mode has so many menus and submenus that it took me a full workday to completely go through them all. And that's not even counting a separate arcade mode, a track maker, a video collection, and much more. It's every bit of the racing world all in one place, on one disc. The word comprehensive doesn't even feel big enough. The inclusion of a track generator, karts, license, World Rally Championship, and NASCAR vehicles was also received positively, as was the new dynamic time and weather efforts. All right, so the addition of online racing was positively received. The online races were credited for being smooth without any noticeable lag and for not showing any drop off in quality, as well as for providing fun racing. GamePro concluded that the superb online mode gives the game incredible longevity. Um, yeah. So the graphics received positive reviews, with reviewers praising the lighting effects as well as interior and exterior details of premium cars, stating that photo mode showed off their detailed graphical design very well. CG Magazine claimed that the detail of the game's tracks is combined with the weather effects add up to some breathtaking driving experiences, with sunset on the horizon and dirt being kicked up around your car, or raindrops hitting the windshield and cockpit view with uncertainty realism. Destructoid commented positively on the lighting, weather, and particle effects, stating that watching snow blow onto and over the windshield was so lovely that it was almost distracting. The way a nighttime fog soaks up headlights looked impossibly realistic. Streetlights shine on a glossy, wet road, and later raindrops streak by as you hit 200 miles per hour. In the desert, dust kicks up in a rally race. High beams catch the dust, with the tops of the surrounding trees barely lit by the setting sun. The detail of standard cars were criticized as they lacked fully detailed cockpit views, looked like upscale versions taken from Gran Turismo 4, and did not keep up to the level of detail found in the premium models. GT5 has been criticized for frame rate drops and screen tearing. The problems are most noticeable when many cars are on screen with rain or smoke visible. The newly damaged feature received criticism for having limited effect on car performance. The AI was also criticized for still making CPU drivers break unexpectedly and not being aware of the player's car on the track. Just as in previous games in the series, IGN called it the series' now trademarked zombie AI. The game's sound was praised. Arnold Arnold Katayev, reviewer of PSX Extreme, stated that Gran Turismo 5 actually sounds fantastic, having sampled a number of cars in the game that I either own, drive frequently, or have driven numerous times. I've verified how they all sound. My 350Z sounded pitch perfect as you started up upon selecting it. Same goes for my 370Z. It sounds spot on. Even a bunch of even a bunch of the standard cars sounded good. The sound even better with a few exhaust mods. While Tweaktown said that some cars just sounding flat when you feel they shouldn't, and others just sending a shiver up your spine as you hit redline. Gaming Reality Gaming Reality awarded the sound 9 out of 10, stating that the sounds are clear, crisp, and distinct. The engine sounds are great, and you make you feel like the car is actually near you. The engine sounds on premium cars change when you make adjustments to it, just like in real life. During the 14th Annual Interactive Achievement Awards, the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences nominated Gran Turismo 5 for Racing Game of the Year and Outstanding Achievement in Soundtrack. In the UK, the Chainz Game Station and game between them opened around 100 stores at midnight on the day of release, so that customers could buy the game ahead of their normal 9 a.m. EB Games and JB Hi-Fi in Australia did the same thing. The game was the multi-format number one for the week, despite only having been on sale for 2 days. In Japan, Gran Turismo 5 debuted in the software chart at number one, and this helped PS3 console sales more than double for the week ending November 28th, 2010. As of March 2013, Gran Turismo 5 sold over 10 million units. For 13 days, 423,000 copies of the game were sold per day. Gran Turismo 5 was the best-selling video game for the PlayStation 3 until 2013, when it was beaten by Grand Theft Auto 5. The Gran Turismo series as a whole has now totaled more than 65 million units sold so far worldwide, and remains the highest selling PlayStation exclusive franchise of all time, according to Polyphony Digital. Gran Turismo 5 shipped to 6.37 million units between its launch in November and the end of 2010. As of September 2012, Sony shipped 9.19 million units of Gran Turismo 5. Despite a late release in 2010, Gran Turismo 5 managed to become the seventh best-selling PlayStation 3 title in the US, making the game the second best-selling exclusive of the year. Gran Turismo 5 also became the best-selling PlayStation 3 exclusive in Europe, including the UK. Sales have exceeded 10 million units, of which almost half were in Europe. This was announced during the 15th anniversary event at Silverstone, held on May 15, 2013. The game holds the record of the longest chart run for a racing game. And the awards for the game: Golden Joystick Awards 2011 Best Racing Game won. Game Revolution, 17th Best PS3 Game of all time. Yeah. Celebrity appearances: four-time NASCAR Cup champion Jeff Gordon appears in the game as a mentor to the player, guiding them in the skills of slipstreaming specific to the sport. Nine-time Rally World Champion Sebastian Loeb and four-time F1 World Champion Sebastian Vettel appear in similar roles in their portions of the game, providing advice and encouragement in a series of challenges. Other cars in the game are named after rally driver Tommy Mäkinen, drivers Carl Edwards and Kyle Busch, and personalities Shuichi Shaigeno, and Jay Leno. Voiceovers were recorded by Justin Bell, Tony Jardine, and Robert Reed. One of the game's testers listed in the credits was Tomei Sports Porsche racing driver Takashi Ohai. On September 5th, 2011, Martin Brundle and Jonathan Lagarde commented on a race between David Coulthard driving a rear Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG around the Top Gear test track, and six leading Gran Turismo players racing on a console at Mercedes-Benz World. Coulthard won, with Jason Burt trailing by half a second. Reggie Yates, Pollyanna Woodward, and Mike Bushell also took part in the race, but did not qualify for the leaderboard. Coulthard's lap was subsequently available to download for players to race against. In partnership with Alpine Stars, a downloadable pack released in October 2011 features replica helmets and overalls worn by drivers such as Tony Stewart, Jimmy Johnson, Peter Solberg, Mikko Harvonen, and the Stig. In January 2013, Johnny Herbert mentored 6 players in a primetime ITV4 reality series with the aim of taking them to the Dubai 24-hour race as real drivers. Other countries in Europe had heats mentored by drivers. Vit Antonio Liuzzi and Sebastian Bumi. All right. All right. I think I'm going to wrap up right here, man. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. There we go. All right, we'll wrap up right here with this. Hold on. Yeah, street choices on the go. Hold on. Okay. All right. Make sure you I wanted to make sure I clicked on the right segment actually. Yeah, stream choices on the go. All right. So this is where I actually inform you where you can follow the podcast. So make sure you follow the entertainment review show Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast on Facebook alongside with Bluesky Social, Threads, and Instagram. The same goes for my other podcast shows that I do, which is my sports edition show, Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast. It's also on there, as well as my comedy Off the Meat Rat Chainz New York Avenue podcast as well. So yeah, you can follow your host with the most, G Money Stacks 555 in Queens, New York. Make sure you follow that, and also subscribe to the YouTube channel Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast. Leave a like. Make sure you can also hype the videos as well. You can also basically share your thoughts in the comments. Tell me what you think of the topics in this episode and previous episode that you listened to. And of course, let me know about the topics you want me to actually go over and review and all that stuff as far as like the old and new TV shows, the movies, the gaming, the games, old and new, and of course some music discographies you want me to go over. Let me know in comments. Also, make sure you subscribe to my other YouTube channels, which is my sports YouTube channel page, Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast, and G Money Stacks 555 in Queens, New York. Actually, it's G Money Stacks 555. Excuse me. I'm trying to rush here actually, because it's almost 11. Um, so yes, so yes. Be sure to also click on the subscribe button alongside with the notification alerts so you know when I'll be on the air via live with new topics and of course new episodes of each live stream podcast. All right. And and of course like I said, do the same with my other YouTube channels that I just mentioned too. And of course, be sure to click on the notification alerts so you'll be notified when I'll be on the air live with more new topics. All right. Okay, that's gonna do it. That's gonna do it for me. I'm your man G Money Stacks, aka the Greg of Nature Rhymes with Now or Later. And I'd like to say thank you to every single one of you for taking the time to listen. You could have listened to any other podcast in the whole world, but you chose to listen to this podcast as well. Remember, the grind doesn't stop. Hard work pays off. If you want something, you have to work hard and earn it. Follow your goals and dreams. Don't let anybody tell you there's no money into something. That's not the reason why you started the podcast in the first place. And of course, don't let any dream killers take that from you. And and also find your niche. Be yourself behind the microphone if you plan on starting a podcast and whatever topics you plan to cover. Be on your P's and Q's creatively, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. That gets you into your zone alongside with tunnel vision. All right. Listen, like I said, man, I will be back next time. Stay tuned for more new topics in the next episode. In the words of Ken Stars, of course, make sure you tune into Tri-State of Mind with Ken Stars alongside with Linda Ibar and alongside with Ray on Saturdays 10 to 11 on Hot 97. And of course, peace and one love. And have a good night, everybody.